Well, hello everybody. The DUI guy is back once again. We are here with another episode. This is season 4, episode 7. Uptown Funk, y'all. Oh God, please! I promise I'll never do that again. It's good to see everybody. I am here on a Friday afternoon, Friday evening, wherever you are, Friday morning in the world. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the channel. It is great to have you. Let's have another episode. Let's have some fun. Let's enjoy. Somebody's already calling me out, Larry. Please don't ever do that again. I would very much appreciate if you don't geek out on your own shit. Thank you. Hi, Semper, Sean, Tommy, Kevin, Nation State, and Greek Bowl. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Canada and Emery. Nice shirt. Thank you, sir. All right. Don't forget to like this video. Comment below. Subscribe to the channel. That notification bell if you haven't already so you don't forget. And then join on as a member to gain access to emojis and badges and other goodies and stuffs. So if you're so inclined, if you're not so money hungry about your own money and you're willing to spend it and share it, I mean, by all means, spend it on me. All right. Whew, you can tell I'm in a good mood today. So let's get started. We have a few new videos today. Oh, by the way, the channel explosion is continuing on like crazy. Hey, Adam. Hey, Morpho. Hey, Ray. I mean, it is literally... I have no words. I have no words. It's the shorts, okay? It's the shorts, not the shorts that I'm wearing, although in case some of you are wondering, yes, I do have very, very nice, stylish shorts that I'm sporting right now. So, yeah, I got that going on. But those are not the shorts that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the shorts that YouTube has rolled out, and they are driving my channel through the frickin' roof. Oh my God, you guys. Oh my God. I literally have gone from just like a small potatoes, 50,000 views a day kind of channel. I mean, I want to show this to you guys because I just literally, I can't not show this. It's so magical. It's so magical. These are my, hold on one second, sorry. Add source, screen capture, smart selection. Look at this. Look at this beauty. Those are my views. And we started out right here. I don't know if you can see that. This was my daily. This was pretty much like my daily, end of July, mid-July. It was like 46,052, 61, 46, 54... 71, 53, like that was normal, and that was literally on a day-to-day for months. And then all of a sudden, excuse me, I can't even talk. I'm so excited about this. My numbers literally just went through the frickin' roof. They started climbing, and I thought this was like, sometimes they'll jump up like that, and then they'll slow down and come right back down. But this is it's not stopping. It is not frickin' stopping. And it has no signs of intent to stop. Right now, it's sitting at 674,000 views yesterday for one day. I used to get that in like half a month, like 2 weeks worth. That was not one day. So I am in awe, you guys. I'm literally in awe of what is happening to my channel. I'm just speechless. So I. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you to my viewers. Thank you to my fans. Thank you guys so much for liking this, for supporting the channel. I mean, oh my God, you guys. Oh my God. Willie Czar, thank you for the $5 dono. He says, from all of us spreading the word. That's exactly what it is. That's how it starts. It's a snowball effect. We try to do good work for our clients. We try to do good work for you guys. We try to do good work for everybody. And when you make it, remember, I always said this before, and I will say it again, and I will continue saying it no matter when we have 1 billion subscribers. I will continue saying the exact same thing. If you make it about the client, you will have all the money in the world. and you will be successful and you will be loved. But if you make it about the money, you will always lose. Always, always, always. Make it about the client. Make it about the person. Make it about everybody's coming into us. They have a future. They may have a family. They may have children. They definitely have themselves. And if we care about them, we give them the best possible result that we can possibly give them under the circumstances. They're going to walk away and they will know that they've been given the best representation possible. That's what we do. That's what our firm does. And if they came to us and we're like, well, that's $750 and make it about that $750 and focus on that, making that $750, and whatever happens to the client happens to the client. That's the only money you will ever see from that client. I promise you. I guarantee you. I've seen it in that courthouse that we go to way too many times. And it's just the way the world works. Make it about, no matter what line of business you're in, no matter what, if you're making cupcakes, or if you create posters, or if you're an attorney, or if you're an accountant, if you make it about the money, you will have none. If you make it about the client, you will be successful and you will thrive. Remember that. Okay. So, hey Tex, Andy, Scotty, Willie Czar, thank you so much for another $5, man. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Join on as a member, and let's off to the races we go. So the first video actually is a video that I decided to jump to the front of the line. Somebody, I think a certain Daniel, I believe. He goes by mhockey23 on YouTube. He shared this. Let me read the message to you all first. He says, my name is mhockey23, Daniel. I'm a fan of yours, of the DUI Guy on YouTube channel. I fly satellites as an active duty member. And while I enjoy what I do, law was his initial trajectory. And he's just a fan of our channel. He came across a local story detailing an interesting situation prosecutors and police find themselves in regarding DUI cases. This story is from, I think, yesterday. I'll leave you to read the whole story, but the premise is that potentially thousands of DUI cases, this is in Colorado, I believe, Colorado Springs, thousands of DUI cases are in jeopardy because some local departments failed to offer the option to take a breathalyzer test during last year's COVID outbreak. Woo! Hey, Carlitos. So let me go ahead and minimize myself. And let's take a look at this article. Oops. Let's take a look at this article and subsequent video. So this is the article. DUI cases could be in limbo due to Colorado Springs police testing procedures during the pandemic. Let's read the article first, shall we? Colorado Springs. A new court order from an El Paso County judge says Colorado Springs police violated a driver's statutory rights as officers weren't using breathalyzer tests during the pandemic. Interesting start. Now, more than 1,000 DUI cases. Okay, so it's not 1,000. It's more than 1,000. More than 1,000 DUI cases could be impacted. Still a frickin' lot, according to local defense attorneys. In March of 2020, Colorado Springs Police Department suspended alcohol breath testing when pulling people over who were under suspicion for driving under the influence. The department stopped DUI breath testing to prevent the spread of COVID-19. When a driver is pulled over by a Colorado police officer, state law allows the driver to refuse a blood alcohol test or provide them the option of a breath test or blood test. The express consent law in Colorado allows a motorist to elect between a breath or blood test. That's unique, by the way, because the majority of jurisdictions simply say that the officer gets to choose, and then if you refuse, then you lose your license. Colorado Springs defense attorney Joe Mayer said. Mayor tells 13 investigates other agencies in southern Colorado either didn't stop DUI breath testing or only limited breath testing for a short time at the beginning of the pandemic. Most police agencies were not barring breath tests. State Patrol was not doing that. Fountain Police Department, as far as I know, was not doing that. Monument Police Department was not doing that. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office, for a significant period of time, was not doing that. There was a period of time where they were, sorry, I just want to make sure that you guys can see where I can see. Okay. Was not doing that. There was a period of time where they were barring breath testing, but they stopped their policy, Mayor said. But CSPD didn't resume breath testing until February of 2021, despite being sent a memo by the Colorado Department of Public Health about safer ways to conduct DUI breath testing amid the pandemic. Quote, you have government officials making these decisions to deprive citizens of statutory rights. Yes, exactly. That our legislature or representative put in place, right? We've decided that those are our rights. They decided that it doesn't matter. We're not going to give them to you, Mayor explained. 13 investigates obtained a July 16th court order written by a county judge. By the way, this is, I think I alluded to it already. This is from August 11th. I'm sorry. 2 days ago. So this is fresh. This is fresh stuff. This is from August 11th of this year. 13 investigates obtained a July 16th court order written by a county judge that found CSPD violated the rights of drivers by failing to uphold Colorado's DUI express consent law by not offering a breath test option. Whoa. Okay, that's big. That is big for defendants everywhere. Because if you have a court order that says CSPD violated the rights by not giving them the option breath or blood, which one would you like, and just maybe saying blood is your only option, that's a violation of the statutory right and potentially the Colorado Constitution. Definitely the statutory, the express consent law, that's statutory. If dentists could perform procedures, if jury trials could occur, because if you remember, Colorado, by the way, was doing a lot of that, they were doing a lot of cases remotely, not just remotely. They were doing them. They were doing jury trials, I believe, over like Zoom practically in Colorado. It was pretty intense over there for a while. So if dentists could perform procedures, if jury trials could occur, and if children could attend in-person classes, then the CSPD could find a way to ameliorate risks of breath testing, especially when other departments, as the defense attorney said, Mayor, were doing them, as far as he knows. Some of them for sure, and some of them he was almost positive that we're doing them. Further, the CSPD never consulted any public health doctors, epidemiologists, or subject matter experts. At some point, ameliorating the risks of COVID-19 infections became, in the language of the express consent statute, an issue subject to the control of CSPD. And at some point, the extraordinary became routine, the judge wrote in the order. 13 investigators spoke with multiple defense attorneys who say the order could lead to dismissal of DUI cases. Basically, the order says that blood tests are suppressed. That's what it means. If you're not given the option, would you like breath or blood, if you're just given, hey, take this blood test, and you consented to it in violation of your statutory right, because at some point the scale, the COVID-19 scale shifts. Initially, March of 2020, I think there's very little argument to be made. If you got stopped like March 27th of 2020 in Colorado Springs, you probably don't have that much of an argument that your statutory right was violated. COVID was in full swing. It's only been like a week and a half since the pandemic started. But as the time continuum continues on forward, it became more and more the responsibility of the police department to make sure that citizens are given their option of doing the breath or the blood test. That makes complete sense, right? And if they fail to do that, if they have not given these people the option and they're only given a blood test, and again, where is that point? Where is that line drawn? I guess that's going to be the legal question for these defense attorneys. That's exactly where the arguments lie. So if you were only offered blood and not offered breath, and statutorily you were supposed to be offered both, at some point the argument of, well, it's COVID, we weren't supposed we didn't have the protocols in place, argument by the police department falls apart and becomes completely eradicated and eviscerated. So the order says that blood tests are suppressed. If those blood tests were procured by the Colorado Springs Police Department during the time period when the police department was not allowing an individual to elect to the blood or breath testing due to COVID, and if there was a refusal to test, what the order has said is that refusal, well, the case really is dismissed. So it's dismissed the case. And the reason that this is such a big deal is because the law requires them to give options. See, that's what I was just talking about. That's what Mayer explained in greater detail here. The 4th Judicial District Attorney's Office told 13 Investigates last week they are still reviewing court orders, and after a review will determine their next steps. The Colorado Springs Police Department said they looked at the available evidence and consulted with the District Attorney's Office, and they believe they made the best decision for the safety of the public, officers, and suspects. That right there is water language, in my opinion. It means absolutely nothing. We've made the right decision, and therefore this is what it is. And unfortunately, that is not always going to comport with the Constitution and people's rights. And I agree with defense attorney Mr. Mayer on that point. Not because I'm a defense attorney, but because I think that's the right call. And even the court agreed with Mr. Mayer. However, defense attorneys say it could impact more than 1,000 DUI cases when arrests were made during the pandemic. Potentially, oh my God, there it is. So it is thousands. Potentially over an 11-month period, there were nearly 4,000, somewhere around 3,000 some people affected by this. Not every one of those drivers is going to fall into this category. This is what I'm talking about. Not every single one, because again, what is the reasonable period? You know, is it March, April, and May of 2020, March, April, May, and half of June? Did it end in mid-April? Like, where's the cutoff? That's going to be judicial discretion. That's going to be attorneys having to argue each individual case. It's going to be looked at as a case-by-case basis, almost to a T. But holy crap, not 4,000. But the bulk of them will. The bulk of these, wow. I mean, that's a lot of money to be made for defense attorneys. So, you know me. With that, I am biased. I'm not going to lie. I am definitely biased as a defense attorney. Money to be made for defense attorneys to get clients results. Get them results and making sure that they are having their rights protected. If their statutory rights have been violated and you can beat the DUI case, that is how you're going to beat the DUI case. It's just the way the world works. Government no do job, lawyer make money, lawyer make good job, lawyer make client case go bye-bye.
Team investigates court rulings in El Paso County that could impact more than 1,000 DUI cases that came about during the pandemic.
Some judges have ruled that drivers' rights were violated when the Colorado Springs Police Department failed to use breath tests for nearly a year. Chief investigative reporter Chelsea Brensel is live outside the police operations headquarters in Colorado Springs to explain.
In March 2020, the Colorado Springs Police Department suspended breath testing for DUIs. The idea was to prevent the spread of COVID-19, but it's how long Springs Police had that policy in place that is resulting in dismissed cases and evidence being tossed out. When you are pulled over by a Colorado police officer and are under the suspicion of DUI, you have a few options. Drivers can refuse to take a blood alcohol test, or
the express consent law in Colorado allows a motorist to elect between a blood or a breath test.
But in March 2020, CSPD stopped breath tests due to COVID-19 concerns. They didn't resume breath testing as required under the law until 11 months later in February 2021. Colorado Springs defense attorney Joe Mayer says other agencies in the area either didn't stop breath testing or only limited breath testing for a short time. This court order shows that CSPD did not restart breath testing even after the Colorado Department of Health and Environment sent the agency a memo with options on how to make breath testing safer.
You have government officials making these decisions to deprive citizens of statutory rights that our legislature, our representatives, put in place, right? We've decided that those are our rights. they decided that it doesn't matter, we're not going to give them to you.
In some CSPD DUI cases during the pandemic, county judges have ruled to throw out blood testing evidence because drivers didn't get the option of a breath test. There has also been at least one outright dismissal of a CSPD DUI case where a driver refused a blood test.
So, potentially over an 11-month period, there were, nearly 4,000, somewhere around 3,000 some people affected by this. Okay? Not every one of those drivers is going to fall into this category, but the bulk of them will.
Wow.
The 4th Judicial District Attorney's Office says they are reviewing court orders, and after a review will determine their next steps. The Colorado Springs Police Department says they looked at available evidence, consulted with the DA's office, and believe they made the best decision to protect the safety of the public, officers, and suspects. Reporting
Doubtful.
live in Colorado
Doubtful
Springs,
statement.
Kelsey Brenzel, 13 investigates.
Tonight,
Very suspect statement. Very, very suspect statement. Willie Czar asks a great question. He says, why don't they offer urine tests? Well, unlike breath and blood, which is something that is extracted from the person at the moment that they are investigated, urine is something that we expel. So urine, in most jurisdictions, that's why Kentucky doesn't even offer urine tests anymore, and they haven't for like the last, I think, maybe 15 or 20 years or so. It's been quite some time. They don't offer urine tests in Kentucky because there's a court decision that determined because it is something that the body expels, it is not necessarily something that is present in the body at the time that the individual is being investigated for a DUI. It could have been something like, like the dropping of the curve that we talked about in the last live stream or a couple of live streams ago. You have to be careful. People say what we talked about is we said if you have recently consumed alcohol, it may not be in your best interest to keep on waiting and waiting and waiting because you might be on the rise and your BAC is rising. And as you blow, you're going to hit that peak. And if you hit that peak before you blow, well, then you're in trouble, because you're going to blow the absolute highest possible number. But if you had been drinking 3, 4, 5, 6 hours ago, then you're probably on the downslope, and the longer you wait, the more it's going to drop and the lower your BAC is going to be. Well, with urine, it doesn't work that way. With urine, you could have drank 10 hours ago, and now you're about to expel the alcohol that you drank that has been processed. I don't know. This is not scientific by any stretch of the imagination, but 6 or 7 hours ago that you've already processed, and you may be much sober now, but your urine is going to show you much more intoxicated because that's the alcohol that you're currently expelling out of your system. I believe that's basically the nature of the urine argument. So, hey Caucasian, hey Diagla, Willie, Tommy, Henry, Chopper, Nation State, Andy, I'm sorry if I missed anyone. I was reading that article. Just the Guy, Minnesota, what's up, buddy? Peckerfield, I'm not reading your name, Mr. Ant, in full. I'm just going to call you Ant. Henry Mayer, welcome. Okay. So that's that. Oops. Let's move on to the next video. So thank you, Daniel, for sending that one in. That was definitely worth the watch. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. You, as a police department, have unilaterally made a decision. Hey, you know what? I am going to be not doing breath tests because of COVID, and now it's biting you in the ass. I mean, that's basically it, you know? That's basically it. All right. This one is titled Double Murder Suspect Defending Himself Screams Opening Statements at the Jury. And by the way, I did forget to link the previous video. That's the link to that one. And now the link to this one, Double Murder Suspect Defending Himself Screams Opening Statements at the Jury, is this link right here. So those two are back to back in the chat. Sorry about that. I almost forgot the previous one. Let's. I've never seen this one before. Some people are saying they've seen it. D Dozer, how's it going, buddy? He says you're awesome. I'm in Atlanta, and you came up in a bar, and other people knew who you were and claimed to have seen your billboard. Since then, I've been through Louisville twice, but couldn't find them. Oh, that's cool. I don't have any. Wait, no, I have billboards. What am I talking about? I have billboards. I have electronic billboards. I took down the paper ones just because they're too expensive for me right now, but I do have electronic billboards. Anyway, let's get to the fun stuff. According to Justia, only 7 states allow urine for DUI. There you go. Straight from Tommy Allen.
Evidence is going to show that we are under some of the most vicious, iron, fabricating, fictitious government you ever seen.
Wow, this guy's passionate.
By the time it's all said and done, you will see who is the mass murderers. In Tampa Bay, the state of Florida. You will know why what occurred on March 18, 2018 occurred.
Can you all hear that?
And the evidence is going to show that law enforcement tampered with evidence to meet their such high burden of proof. Because originally, it wasn't enough. So we had to tamper with evidence. Since it was such evident already, but we still had to tamper with evidence. The evidence is going to show my son did not see me murder his mom. The evidence is going to show he did not see me shoot his mom. The evidence is going to show my son said many things that are not true.
Is it just me, or did you all notice how here, when he's arguing in the first minute and a half, he's looking directly at them, very, very directly, very angrily, and very passionately. But then,
It ends up after I call Kenyatta.
as soon as he starts talking about the shooting, he starts looking at the floor, like he lost confidence in his own statements about when his son, about his son saying things. Like, did you notice his gaze like kind of shifted? He lost confidence in those statements.
That I called 911 during Kenyatta Barron's 911 call. But all of a sudden, it ends up after I called Kenyatta, after Kenyatta Barron's call was made. Now I'm calling 911. But originally, I called 911 without even knowing.
And now his gaze is back again.
During her call. But
Maybe, Nate. I don't know. It's just the...
kind of menace to society. And I ran after
Body language is very loud.
knowing that authority was on the way.
Not just for him, but for anybody.
Kill my own children. I wonder why I would do something like that for no reason. And I'm standing here competent as can be, representing myself today. The evidence is going.
I will give him one thing. He definitely studied drama in class, and he was a master of drama because he is using pauses for dramatic effect like he was a natural born actor. I will give him that. He's really doing a good job with those pauses. Now, I would lower his voice a lot because screaming does you absolutely no good in a situation, especially when you're defending yourself. Don't ever do that, but that goes without saying. But I will say that his dramatic pauses for dramatic effect are phenomenal. Like, I'm literally sitting at the edge of my seat like, what is he going to say now? But that's not the platform to do it. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, join on as a member. Let's keep going. I'll watch a little bit more of this. I'm not going to watch the whole thing. It's like 30 minutes long.
My son did not witness me viciously beat his mom to death.
Did not witness me viciously beat his mom to death. Why did he qualify it? Viciously. I think that's completely unnecessary to qualify it like that, because when you qualify it, you are giving away as to how it was done. Well, how do you know if it was done viciously if you weren't there?
The evidence is going to show my neighbor, Khalil Brown, whom they are trying to keep out of this trial, witnessed me take
Hey, Richard.
3 strikes. The evidence is going to show that law enforcement and this administration wanted to make me look like a menace to society. So they added several mini strikes on that video and audio that you just heard. And they added several statements that I did not say. Anything that I may have said, they exacerbated it and made me say it consecutively over and over like Allahu Akbar, which I may have said once or twice. But they wanted to make me seem like a terrorist.
Okay.
And so you hear it 8 or 9 times, and you hear me calling Kenyatta Barron a bitch and a whore. The evidence is going to show that I called my dad after calling 911.
No, this is an opening. This is clearly an opening because he keeps saying the evidence is going to show, not it would have been the evidence has shown, as you heard from such and such testify. All right, I just want to go to the ending. I want to see how it ends. I just fast forwarded 20 minutes worth. If you guys want, right, Gitologist, I agree. I fast forwarded it for about 20 minutes, so if you all want to review it, it's in the chat. The link is in the chat after we're done here. You're more than welcome to. But I can't. This is torture.
Lacerations on Kenyatta Baron's face. I can guarantee you that.
These are the last 2
In this
minutes.
trial of the next one, I can guarantee you that. Because like I said, I look alone, but I'm backed by mighty God.
God is on my side, so I can't lose. That's his theory.
And ultimately,
It sounds like mental issues. Maybe.
that none of the state's witnesses can draw any conclusion, especially because they didn't see anything that refutes my self-defense claim and theory. And nor can the state
Self-defense.
beyond their very reasonable doubts that will be revealed. The very reasonable doubts that will be revealed by me.
Very reasonable doubts that will be revealed by me.
That's all I have to say.
Okay. 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 That's that was something. Hey Deb, hey Red Rex, Feral Merce, Beach Walk. Holy shit. There's no way he got acquitted. No freaking way. That was almost certainly a conviction. There's no way. All right, let's go to the next video. The next video is titled "Daughter of Police Commander Let Go After Being Arrested for Drunk Driving." Did he? Yeah, another video of him yelling during sentencing. If there's sentencing, that means he got convicted. Does anybody know how much time did that double homicide pro se litigant get, chat? Does anybody know? Skinny says he was convicted. Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. There's just no way. Not with a defense like that. The vicious murder that was committed was not me. How do you know it was vicious, buddy? And the evidence will show that my son made some statements and that were not exactly true. Well, you're a very biased person to say that. And I called 911. Okay, you got that one going for you. I did not say Allah Akbar, which is Allah is great, several times in a row. I may have said it once, maybe twice, but no more than that. I mean, come on, like, man. Sure, Greek Bull. Thank you for reminding me. Let me go ahead and pin my email. If you all want to send me some stuff. Life without parole, maybe. They wouldn't give him the death penalty for defending himself, so at least he won that.
What did you have to drink?
A couple shots.
A couple shots?
Yeah.
Do you know what they were?
Whiskey.
You are under arrest for driving while intoxicated, okay?
Okay.
I don't agree with what we did out there. All he told me was, do you know who that is? It blew my mind. I was like, oh, this is one of my supervisor's daughters. So I was like, there's my career right there. Like, I'm done.
Is she fall down drunk? Is she throwing up on herself? Is she incoherent? Is she just absolutely gone? He said, no, I think she's had too much. I said, okay, well, I'm gonna call her dad to come and get her.
This is not what I would call an attempt for cover-up or corruption type issue.
Hello, and welcome back to Legal Dissent, where we evaluate your constitutional rights before they're taken away. Today we evaluate a news story from the Midlothian, Texas Police Department covered by CBS 11 in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. As always, links to the original videos, case law, statutes, and contact information for the law enforcement agency involved is located in the description below. If you'd like to contact us as well to let us know how we're doing, or if you have videos you would like us to evaluate, please find our contact info in the description as well. And as always, if you enjoy our content, please do consider subscribing, liking, and letting us know that you support us in the comments below. It really does help the channel out a lot.
Yeah, support the guy, this guy, and them.
At 2:30 a.m. on March 12th, earlier
This is the
this
link,
year,
by the way.
the
Did I already post it
21-year-old
in the chat?
Midlothian Police Commander
I
Clay
think I
Reagan
did, yeah.
was pulled over for driving a reckless.
This is Legal Dissent. Go and support these guys too. And don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell if you haven't already, and join on as a member.
Dramatically in her red Jeep.
1121.
It was the middle of the night in Midlothian when a police officer spotted this Jeep.
The reason I pulled you over is you're all over the road.
In a field sobriety test, the driver stumbled and struggled to keep her
Welcome,
balance.
Nate. Welcome.
What did you have to drink?
A couple shots.
A couple shots.
Yeah.
Do you know what they were?
Whiskey.
To the two officers on scene, it was clear she was impaired.
You are under arrest for driving while intoxicated, okay?
Okay.
But once they had her in handcuffs, they checked her license and realized just who they had arrested.
Officer Philip Evans did everything right.
Whoa, I will give her brownie points for not going, do you know who I am? Unless she did. I missed that. Did she actually say at any point, do you know who I am? I hope not. Because if she didn't, brownie points for her. Because she could have easily played that do you realize who I am card. She didn't.
Up to this point, he pulled over a driver with just cause. He conducted the field sobriety test
Kudos to
and
her.
concluded that she was driving while intoxicated.
So she was going to own up to her
leading
actions,
to
but
a
then
legal
daddy to the
arrest.
rescue.
So what went wrong? Well, Officer Nicholas Vanderkar recognized that this was their boss's daughter.
I don't agree with what we did out there.
Officer Nicholas Vanderkar was the first to recognize that the driver was the daughter of a Midlothian police commander.
Whoops.
Hey, Evan.
You can see him remove his body-worn camera and ask his partner to do the same.
What's up? Put this in the car.
All he told me was, do you know who that is?
The news hit him hard.
Oh, do you know who that is?
Like, oh, this is one of my
Just
supervisor's
one cop to the
daughters.
other.
So I was like, there's my career right there. Like, I'm done.
Officer Evett called his sergeant, Stephanie Hansen. The sergeant said she told him to let her go.
Is she fall down drunk? Is she throwing up on herself? Is she incoherent? Is she just absolutely gone? He said, no, I think she's had too much. I said, okay, well, I'm gonna call her dad to come and get her.
Go ahead, unhandcuff her, unarrest her, and just hang out there.
Wow.
The officers did as they were
Wow. Wow. Unhandcuff her, unarrest her. Mulligan, she gets to go. What the fuck, man? What the fuck? Privileges, huh? Why is she different? Wow.
releasing the woman to her father, but their actions that night left them upset.
And I couldn't
Oh,
say
poor things.
because again, like, I know what we were doing. I didn't believe it. My wife even said when I got home, she's like, "Are you okay?" Like, I was pale. It bugged me a lot.
The officers deactivated their body cams, contacted their sergeant, and the sergeant ordered them to let her go and allow her father to take her home without being arrested. I believe that while imperfect, America was still built on the fundamental idea that royalty and special statuses based on the genetic lottery should not exist. Yet we live in a society today that grants the families of politicians, sport figures, Hollywood movie stars, and apparently even the daughters of police commanders special privileges based simply on who their parents are.
To the driver's credit, she did not mention one time who her father was or threaten to use her family's position.
Okay, so to her credit, she's getting brownie points for sure. She did not try. Wow, good for her. That I will say, she was going to own up to her actions, and lo and behold, holy shit, what happens anyway? Wow, but brownie points to her. Honestly.
To weasel her way out of the incident. Obviously, she should not have been driving under the influence, but the blame for the biased policing effort in this situation lay squarely on the officers and the sergeant involved.
Now, again, they keep saying that she was driving under the influence. They were suspecting her of operating a motor vehicle under the influence. She was never convicted. She was never arrested to be convicted, but I'm saying is she may have been acquitted in a court of law, or pled guilty, or the case would have been amended or dismissed for legal reasons. But the fact that she got off on the most technical way possible, and the most corrupt way possible, because, well, you don't know who my daddy is, that's the fucked up part.
The officers say they regretted it and felt like they did the wrong thing, but watch how they cover their tracks.
There was no record made of the arrest, no incident report, which is required when anyone is restrained. Officer Evans says he went to Sergeant Hampton at one point feeling panicked and scared.
She's like, well, it was my decision. Like, don't talk about it.
No arrest
Don't
record.
talk about
No
it.
incident report. Don't talk about it. In addition to this, the body cam and the dash cam footage was marked as non-evidentiary, which meant if no one caught it within 1 to 2 months, it would be deleted forever. Marking footage as non-evidentiary requires a conscious choice. For every segment of film collected, they have to select if it was a traffic stop, evidentiary, or non-evidentiary. Again,
Hey, George.
no incident report. When an incident report is required for whenever anyone is temporarily restrained. Does this sound like the actions of officers who are trying to do the right thing and just help out a coworker? Or is it a department that is corrupt and capable of covering their own tracks? You decide in the comments below.
What are we gonna arrested? She's commander's daughter. And I know that in our policy we have discretion, and in the state law we have discretion.
Officers do have some discretion when it relates to arresting individuals. Typically, we are arguing for less officer discretion when it comes to overzealous arrests of citizens when the officer lacks appropriate probable cause or happens to stumble across the evidence necessary to arrest someone based on an investigation conducted without reasonable articulable suspicion. The state of Texas grants officers a significant amount of discretion when it comes to arrests for traffic violations. You can be arrested in the state of Texas for every traffic violation except for speeding and the open container offenses. They must base their decision to arrest or not to arrest on how potentially dangerous that person is to society, likelihood of them showing up to court, and potential danger to themselves. It is not typical for officers to let a driver go that they had probable cause to arrest for driving while drunk. That being said, I am unable to find any statute or law that demands that an officer actually arrest someone that they find breaking the law. So, theoretically, the sergeant is correct. Officers in Texas seem to have the ability to look the other way and not arrest people that they witness committing crimes. Which makes you wonder, why don't they exercise this discretion in other types of incidents, like filming a post office or a police station or anything that doesn't seem like a huge deal. This doesn't sit quite right. However, Midlothian
He had to
Police
go
Chief
there, didn't
Carl
he?
Smith
He had to go
claims
there.
his department does not have a corruption issue.
Oh, he went there.
This is not what I would call an attempt for cover-up or corruption type issue.
The chief says the officers didn't appear to be trying to hide what they were doing, and that the department is working to ensure officers know it is not okay.
That we've done a pretty exhaustive evaluation of the last 2 years of arrests and contacts to make sure that this is not an ongoing procedure.
The department is also considering a new policy requiring a high-ranking chief or commander be contacted in the future whenever anyone is handcuffed and then released.
And you were the one who determined the discipline, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, the best part, the discipline doled out to the officers who turned off their body cams,
Policing the
violated
police.
department policy by failing to create an incident report, lied about the categorization of the body cam and dash cam footage, and the sergeant who instructed them to let the drunk driver go and to not talk about it. What do you think these officers deserve as punishment? Suspension? Fired? Let us know in the comments below.
What do they actually
As
get?
discipline, the officers received a written reprimand in their files. The sergeant orders to attend ethics training and to take
Okay,
a
that's at
paid
least
day of
something.
leave of her choosing.
The sergeant in this case is directed to take a day to reflect on the policies that were violated and to learn from those and to report back.
Let me ask you a question, chat. Do you all actually think that if the commander's daughter would have been arrested, that the cop would have lost his job? What do you all think in the chat, by the way? I'm curious. This is a philosophical question, because he said, if I arrest her, it's going to be my ass. Do you think if he actually arrested his commander's daughter, he would have been canned? What do you think? For doing his job? It doesn't matter who it is. You think... Okay, so chat is split. Almost 50-50. More leaning towards yes. Wow. Really? I don't know. I think that would be a great argument against the ethics of the police department if he would have been canned. That would have been a news story that you definitely want to break out, because then an officer loses his job for arresting the commander's daughter. I mean, but it's not his fault. He didn't pick who he stopped that night, and if he believed that he had probable cause, let them fight it off in court. I don't know. Maybe I'm too... I don't know.
Back to the chief.
Hey,
We
Ryan.
asked the chief about Sergeant Stephanie Hansen's punishment. She was the one who ordered the commander's daughter be let go. She's been required to undergo ethics training and to take a day of leave.
She was the
It
main
looked like it
actress
was a
in the whole thing. The
paid
main
day off of
actor.
her choosing, which I think some people would say sounds a lot like a vacation day.
It may well be a paid
Vacation
day,
day,
off,
exactly
but
what
it
you
is
guys
no
said.
vacation day.
The chief said he considered
It's
the
a
sergeant's history as a
paid off day,
stellar
but it's not
employee.
vacation.
If she has to be disciplined
Okay.
again, he says,
That I don't
she
agree with.
face tougher consequences.
And I thought the Spanish Inquisition was bad, but the most barbaric forms of medieval torture cannot hold a candle to what the Midlothian Police Department dishes out upon their employees. A paid day off to reflect on department policies, a whole day to sleep in, catch up on your favorite TV shows, and spend it with loved ones? Oh, and she even has the ability to choose when she gets her free vacation day? This is not a punishment, this is a reward. I have never had a boss unhappy with my work product tell me, hey man, I'm really displeased. Go take a day off and think about what you've done. When people ask me why I am so hard on law enforcement and why I don't give them a break, it's because time and time again I have witnessed police not giving other people breaks when they have violated the pettiest of laws. I have seen prosecutors trump up charges unnecessarily and immorally to force defendants into taking bad plea deals so that the prosecutor can make his 4 o'clock tea time on a Friday afternoon. I have observed officers use their power to manipulate, control, and destroy people's lives. No one in everyday life has more power to obliterate your world than an angry officer who had a bad day and wants to take it out on you. This case shows the amount of discretion available to officers to make decisions that have life-altering impact on a daily basis. The scariest part about this is we would have never known if someone on the inside did not alert the media. Was this a good Samaritan or just simply someone with an axe to grind against someone involved? Who knows? But it highlights just how little we realize law enforcement can get away with, and we are none the wiser. If they want to create evidence to frame someone, they can do it. If they want to conveniently lose evidence to help a buddy, they can do it. Most prosecutors are rubber stamps for police officers when they decide to file charges. And most judges are also just rubber stamps for officers when they are requested to sign search and arrest warrants. This government is supposed to be a system of checks and balances, and the police have been unchecked for way too long. When you are
We have
given
a
the
love-hate
opportunity
relationship,
to vote in
Ryan
your
and
county
I.
elections for elected
He
prosecutors,
loves me and I hate
judges,
him. No, I'm just
you
kidding.
better be getting out there and selecting individuals who care
just
more
kidding,
than
buddy.
just being tough
Thank
on
you so
crime,
much.
and select people who will fight for your right to be free.
He's feeding me over here. Do you see this? This is my fucking lunch fund. Sponsored by Ryan. This is gonna get you enough ramen and raviolis to make it through the weekend, bud. Thank you for the $10 dono, Ryan. Oh my god.
There are good police officers and there are bad
You're
police
killing me,
officers.
dude.
Just like there are
Killing me,
good
buddy.
attorneys and bad attorneys, good YouTubers and bad YouTubers. The difference is, I'm not carrying a badge that grants me qualified immunity to destroy your life. We'll see you next time right here on Legal Dissent.
Hey, at least somebody's feeding me. Otherwise, the DUI guy's going hungry. So I appreciate the love. I appreciate the food. And I, of course, appreciate all of it, y'all. I appreciate it. Well, listen, I just wanted to pop in for a quick stream. We've been doing it for about, oh, wow, it's been an hour already? Look at that. How much time flies when you're having fun, y'all. That is so fun. Okay. Well, I hope you all enjoyed. This has been episode 7, I think, right? Yeah, Uptown Funk. Now, we're supposed to have Ash plus 2 was supposed to create bingo cards for us. And I don't know where those bingo cards are. I forgot to ask him. Maybe if you're in the chat, Ash, you can let us know in the comments. But I'll probably be messaging you sometime here shortly to kind of find out what is the status of the bingo cards. But anyway, I thank you all for joining me. I thank you all for coming. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell if you haven't already. And I will see you all in the next video, which is probably going to be either this weekend or next week. More content coming, you guys, every single day. More shorts are coming out every single day. And I do have content in the pipeline. Just be on the lookout. And that trial, of course, the next one is September 23rd. I was supposed to have one next week on Wednesday, but unfortunately that one is not going to go. We got that bumped out, but in about a month and a half is my next trial, and we are going to have some solid new content at some other point. So thank you all for coming. Thank you all for joining me. I love every single one of you, and that means you and 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 you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for watching me review videos. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for giving your input. Thank you for your generous donations into my lunch fund. And I will see you all in the next video, episode 8. Take care of yourselves and each other. Love you all. Bye-bye.